Okay, so here's a little drone update. Now, this is obviously off of a DJI Mavic Mini. It's the gimbal. Now, on these little gimbals, they do come apart very, very carefully. Now, as you can see, this has lost the glass on the front. Now, a lot of people think, oh, you know, let's not put the glass back on, but you can actually buy it. It's very, very easy to get hold of. Costs you about £10, and you will need to get the old access sticky off the front of here. It's wise not to fly the drone without that glass on there, because that will be the only thing that will protect that lens. In the back of here, there's a connector and a barometer unit and a compass unit to know which way's up. If you ever look in the drone and you ever see these little tiny DJI stickers, the reason that they are there, they are for when the drone goes back for warranty purposes. They turn red when water comes in contact with them, and that is their immediate way of turning around and saying, we're not fixing your drone, basically. Now you can see it's like a slight pink colour. Okay, they are always like that. Brand new, they are white, but they do turn pink and red over time. Okay, so a little bit of an update on this drone, just a little bit of information. These are very flimsy. I mean, these are so thin, it's flimsy, it's unbelievable. I mean, taking them apart is a real art form. And a lot of people have got to turn around and say, oh, you've got long fingernails. Yes, I know I've got long fucking fingernails. But the reason I have is so I can take these things apart carefully without damaging them. That's the whole reason. I've been in this business of mucking around with drones for like 43 years. I've been mucking around with RCs. And the last thing you want to do is take something apart and damage it. One thing I will make people aware of on these drones, and something that I will take care of, this is a heat sink just here, which sits on the main board, which is underneath. Now you can see on there, they've made a really bad job of actually covering this with this paste, which is a thermal conductant, and it doesn't even go, as you can see, right the way across. So I will replace this with brand new, and I will give a proper coating of it, unlike what they've done here. This is just, you know, done in a factory. They don't really give a shit at the end of the day, as long as you sell it. So that's that. Again, here we go. Inside, obviously, where it's a bit drier, this DJI sticker isn't quite so pink. Reason being is because the heat that's generated in this area. Okay, the drone has got a lot of vents underneath, because the battery, as it's disloading its power, gives off a lot of heat, unfortunately. And you've got the sensors underneath. There's actually 3 sensors on the bottom of there. That is actually a camera that's right in the middle of there, believe it or not. A visual sensor, so it can sense how high it is, or if there's anything underneath it when it's landing. Okay, so we'll flip it over to the other side. And what you've got here is basically what is an ESC board. You can see all the wires going into it on either side, going off to the motors. And you have got a connector just here, which is a ribbon cable, which goes to the main board that's underneath. Now, in the front of this, you've got the GPS unit. Now, the GPS unit on these is soft mounted, as you can see, pretty soft mounted. Okay, now I believe on here we've got a barometer sitting at the front there. We also do have a compass unit, which is actually part of the ribbon cable. It's an extremely small component that is on the front here. If we can get the focus, you fuck. That is the compass. And the compass actually sits in that slot there, but it is part of this ribbon cable. Now on this drone, this ribbon cable was ripped because the gimbal actually left the front of the drone. And what it actually did is basically ruin the rubbers. Now the rubbers are cheap, they're about £4. Part of the pack for £10 you get the little brackets and bits and pieces that come with it. Getting these little tiny bits off of the gimbal, now you've got to be very careful. One thing that you must not lose, where the fuck's that gone? Is you've got a weight balance that goes on the other side. He says he's bloody lost it. Look at this. Oh no, I'll put it back on. Okay, so there's a weight balance. Now, you lose that, the gimbal will not work properly because it will just not balance itself out. But the main thing that I must say about this drone, okay, now, let's turn it back over. A lot of people ask me, okay, so where's the antennas? Because we haven't seen the antennas yet. Well, the antennas are actually here. There's 2 of them. Okay, they are marked left and right, and they just click in. Okay, and literally, I just push that down in there. That's it. So you can guess how easy that is to get out of there. So if you do have a full frontal smack, this will push backwards and that will pop out. So carefully just press it back in. If you find that your drone is not connecting, it's probably going to be because of these aerials. Okay, unfortunately, you will have to take this arm off, and the connections for those aerials are on the main motherboard here. And as you can see, they are in there very tight. There is no leg room at all in there. So you have to be very, very careful on putting these in and putting these out. And especially with these little connectors, there's a little pin in the center of this that if you bend it, it will not work. Okay, that's really about it for this. Out of interest, what you've got, okay, so these are basically for your sensors and bits and pieces, okay, but this is the other important one. Now this is your video line link up cable, okay, and it also does your motor control. So your motor control and your video line link up is that little plug on the back of there, and then you also get on the back of here at the top there, that is the top part for the back motor. Okay, that's your, and that has a potentiometer, a magnet and a motor, and those 3 units actually tell it exactly where it is in time and position. Okay, and that's how that works. It's very, very basic at the end of the day, but it's, at the end of the day, it is a free access gimbal on a very small drone, so it works very well. It's just, unfortunately, people will run these without any type of protection or side covers around this gimbal, and the gimbal's got nowhere to go when you have an accident. It will just go directly straight back up into that unit and then come back out again, and it will snap those 2 little brackets that are on the front there, okay, where it's soft mounted onto the rubbers, and it will also break the 2 that are up on the top here. Now, I did say to the customer at the end of the day, if you wanted to replace these, you'd have to replace the whole body on the bottom half. Well, that's a good 30 quid and a lot of messing about to get this little lot out of here and get it all back in again. So, like I said to him, it's up to you, or I can just do what I can at the end of the day and just glue them back into place, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how hard or how soft you hit this, they're going to break. They're made to break at the end of the day. And sometimes it's a bit of a virtue, because if it didn't break, it would break the gimbal completely. So it's made to break, and a lot of people don't realise things are made to break, because otherwise, if it didn't, it would cause a hell of a lot more damage to either you or to the equipment that's inside. I hope this video helps. If you have any questions about bits and pieces, then please let me know. Please don't message me direct. I get so many messages about stuff that I generally ignore it, because I do like to have my own private life, but I will always message back on Facebook. Thank you.